Welcome, Pewter Report readers, listeners, and viewers to a new episode of Touchback Tuesdays. Took a brief hiatus after Hurricane Ian. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone who is affected and still continues to be affected by that. But we are back with a new episode, a great episode. We've got a special guest as always. You might know him by a few of his nicknames: Prime Time, Sunday Night Football, Playoff, perhaps the biggest one, Lombardi. That's right. We've got Buccaneers starting running back Lombardi, Lenny, Leonard Fournette with us on the show today. Lenny, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How you, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to have you on here. Happy to chop it up with you and kind of get into some of these questions we got here. But speaking of Lenny, before you came to the Bucs, you were always known as Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turned into Lenny. And how receptive were you to that at first? And how much have you embraced it now?
In the beginning, when I wasn't really too fine with it because that's something my late uncle Gerard called me when I was a kid. So and he was the only person that ever called me Lenny. Growing up. So when 2 years ago when we won the playoffs, was in the playoffs, and everybody was like calling me playoff Lenny. Then everyone on the team just started calling me Lenny. Then next thing you know, the whole world started calling me Lenny. But it kind of spread like wildfire, and I just had to deal with it. It's not that bad. It wasn't that terrible. So it's funny how things come full circle.
And I mentioned the litany of nicknames: Primetime, Sunday Night Football, Playoff, Lombardi. Obviously, I'm sure Lombardi Lenny, even Presidential Lenny.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lombardi Lenny is probably the favorite. But besides that, which one of the nicknames is the most creative or your favorite that you've heard?
This year in training camp, one of the fans kept screaming, "Skinny Lenny," and I like that. So I mean, it comes with this job. So I love that.
Right. I also heard recently one of them was Mack Truck Lenny.
Yeah, Mack Truck.
You're running over people. You're a little bit more. I feel like you've been playing, and you've always been a physical player, but just a little bit more physicality to your game. I mean, looking at it, the truck on Tyrann Mathieu against the Saints, obviously the world-renowned chip block on Micah Parsons, and even last week, there was one play where you said nope to three different guys before you found the field. Is that something that you came into the season and say, hey, I want to be a little bit more physical this year. I want to give it to people. I want to bang on guys.
For me, just trying to get that swagger back. I was known for making guys miss. A lot of missed tackles. I led college and missed tackles. So just trying to get that back under my game. Understanding angles, making guys miss, and especially just bringing that swagger to the team.
Right.
Trying to come out of that slum when we lost two in a row, and it helped us this past Sunday.
Yeah, it definitely sure did. But I mean, you're a bigger back too. So how much fun is it to just kind of impose your will on guys and just be like, nope, not today?
Just knowing that as the game go on each and every quarter, they're not gonna want to tackle. So I'm just trying to impose my will in the beginning as much as I can. So later on down the line, if I have a seam, they'll get out the way. Make it more easy for me. I'm not gonna lie.
We saw that especially in that Cowboys game where they seemed like the DBs just seemed like they didn't want a part of you anymore. They're just kind of throwing their bodies at you. But you've taken on a new moniker, a new role this year as well, as mentor Lenny. You've got a younger guy back there who's very hungry. He's come in and kind of helped you out, keep you fresh, which is one of the biggest things. Obviously, want to keep you fresh for the season. But how has that been transitioning into that kind of veteran guy, that older statesman in the run? You're not old by any means. I mean,
right.
I'm much older than you, but you're still in the league. You've got that veteran knowledge, that wisdom. How much has that transition been to being that guy to impart that on a younger guy?
As far as passing the game on to the younger guy, I've always did it. Even when you understand when I was in Jacksonville, we had a young room. But and we didn't have a lot of older guys, so we're always. I see was always like 23, 24 years old at the time. But I have more playing experience, game experience than them. So I've always did it. Rashad is great, man. I love being on Rashad. He's funny. He's dedicated. He wants to be better. He wants to know the ins and out of the game, or what can he do to get better as far as strength-wise, running guys over, balance and things like that. So he's always asking questions. And when Rashad times comes, he's going to be a great. Trust me.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I looked at him coming out of college, and I pegged him as someone who has a really unique skill set. And I really liked him coming out. I'm glad that he found a home with the Bucs, and obviously someone great to mentor him in the game. Though there's a lot of communication that always goes back, and football is such a game about communication. When now that he's taken on a bigger role these last 2 weeks, how much do you guys communicate during the game about, hey, I saw this, I saw that, tendencies that you pick up on each other, techniques that you pick up when you're in the game? How much does that go bounce back and forth, maybe when the defense is on the field?
It plays a big part, as far as we taking each series and things like that, and I'm just trying to give him what I see, what I think that should help him for indicators, pass blocking, the run game, of their stunning or their twisting, twist fronts, things like that. So
Right.
when you know those things and when you can adjust to those things in the game, it makes the game a lot easier for you.
Right. What's one of the biggest things that you've been impressed by him the most? Like, what's something has stood out and you're just like, wow, if I maybe had this when I was a rookie, or when I thought like this, or did this, or had this skill set.
I say patience. He has a unique skill of being patient when he's running the ball. That's hard to come by. Some people don't have it. Some people have it naturally, and he's one of those guys who's naturally God has gifted to be a patient runner.
Yeah, you've seen that. There's been a lot of comparisons to Dickerson and Le'Veon Bell. Still a young kid. Got a long way to go before he earns those stripes. But you mentioned as a pass blocker too, and one of the biggest things that you've wanted to do is improve your pass blocking. And you've seen it year and year. It's gotten better and better. We know it's all about willingness, right? But there's also some technique that goes into it. What kind of things have you worked on technique-wise to become the better pass blocker that's allowed you to become more of a complete back? You've always been a good receiver, but a guy who doesn't need to come off the field in certain pass protection skills too.
For me, it's all about shooting my hands first. Keeping my head up, not falling for the fake moves they're trying to do, swim inside, swim outside, and that's about it. I mean, that's all you can do. You gotta understand,
Right.
pass blocking is almost like a 10-second fight.
Right.
You got to give it off for 10 seconds. That's all it's about.
Now, like, as a runner, you're going up against a defensive defenders, always trying to figure what you're doing out. I mean, that's how defense is played. But in that 10-second fight there, you kind of become the defender, right? I mean,
Yeah, you do.
What's that mindset like as switching roles?
I mean, it's just different, man. You got somebody who's 10 off on you from 10 yards away. They might bull rush you. They might fake inside, outside. I mean, it's various things they can do. But throughout the week, you got to know your opponent, know those backers, know who you're going against, and know what are their go-to moves.
Right, exactly, and that helps be prepared, for the game. And then, looking at this past week's game specifically, it seems like the Falcons they're playing back a little bit more, protecting against that deep ball, which gave you some room to eat. So, is that something that you guys saw on film? Was like, hey, they're going to play back, maybe open up chances for myself, for Kate and as we saw, got some good targets. What did you see on film from them that allowed you to have such success?
I mean, that's definitely what we saw. Throughout the years we played the Falcons, that's what they always did, and we just we had to take advantage of that opportunity. It wasn't just me. At first you seen Rashad getting the ball, Kate was catching the ball and things like that. But like I say, when you have that opportunity, your number gets called, you got to take full advantage of it. Because we're on a unique team with unique guys who can score, who can do a lot of things whenever they get the ball in their hand.
Right. And speaking of the ball in the hand, as a running back, I mean, obviously, that Dallas Cowboys game was huge for yourself and this team. 127 yards on the ground by you, but it seems like the last couple weeks it's kind of struggled to get going. Is there something specific that teams have been able to do to stop the run and get it going in the past? Or has it been kind of self-inflicted wounds?
I think self-inflicted. A lot of miscommunication on our side of the ball, which I know we're going to get better at. It's still early in the season. It's no time to press the panic button. So I feel like with the group of guys we have, and we know what it takes, we're going to definitely pick it up.
And people talk about, new skill position and everything like that. It's always the main focus, but you're dealing with, three new guys on that interior line. What challenges as a running back does that present you to learn those new offensive linemen, to learn their tendencies, how they block, how they tackle things against certain looks and et cetera? How is that a difficult process for you to learn your blockers?
A little bit, but at the same time, we're trying to we're kind of got that rhythm a little bit from training camp, things like that. So we know what we're not good at and what we're good at. But overall, I think we're not doing enough, and I feel like we're gonna put ourselves in a position to be where we want to be at the end of the season.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's early in the season. It would be the first quarter would be over with that extra game. Now you're kind of like in that 5 game window. There's no real 4 quarters to a season. And I know, Tom always says, you find out what you're good at, what you're not good at in that first quarter. You expand upon it as you go. And still plenty of football left for you guys to get that figured out. You know, but you got the win,
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that
It
matters.
doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. A lot of wins don't have to be pretty. It was an ugly one, but we're glad we got through that one.
Now, how much does that show like the resiliency and the confidence of this team and to be able to bounce back after 2 tough home losses to get that win?
I mean, it shows everything. We kind of wanted to get that bad taste out of our mouths. But it's on to the next. We play the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, and we have to get better. That starts from practice. That's even starting now, watching film. After I get off the show, I have to watch film and learn some of their players they have on there.
Right. And before we move on to the Steelers, it was a game for you last week. I mean, maybe not as much, as what you'd like in the running game. But 7 statistical categories you led this team in. You had 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 through the ground. You were very active and integral part of this offense moving forward. This week's game changer for Pewter Report. Just talk about the trust that the coaching staff and Tom has in you to look for you in certain situations and the trust that he has that you're going to be able to be there and take that opportunity, seize it, and make the play.
For me, and my teammates and my coaches, I'm just trying to do the best to put our team in a great position. So whether it's catching the ball, blocking or running, when you're asked to do something, do it to your full ability. You know what I mean? And they entrusted me in that. I've earned their trust over these 3 years. They know what I can do. They know I'm willing to do whatever to help the team win, and that's all it's about. I was watching the Redeem team with about LeBron
Great, just finished it.
And D Wade and Kobe and Bosch. Bosch like I'm at the moment. Bosch like I know I'm not gonna score the ball, so I just play defense. On our team, that's what we're trying to find right now. We have unique guys, but what can they bring to the table? Either it's blocking, catching the ball, being someone that a fake reverse and catch everybody's attention just for a second to get that ball off or things like that. So we're figuring it out. It's going to come along.
Do you think we've seen this offense's best game this year yet?
No, not yet. We have plenty more games to go, and the best is yet to come.
All right, I think so too. I mean that Dream Team documentary that if it doesn't inspire you and motivate you, I don't know what you're doing. But Carmelo Anthony always we saw Kobe down there. I'm getting up at 4:30,
yeah.
But I started working out a little harder, and I think that's the biggest thing is having a team that you can come together, build around, build upon, trust one another to go and out there and perform at a high level. And looking at this team, you joined it 3 years ago. What's the biggest difference that you noticed in this team from when you first came to the Bucs?
Well, I was new, so I can't really say, but as far as my aspect, gaining their trust, not just the team but the organization. They take me in as family when I first got here, even though it was bumpy at first, but you got to appreciate the highs and lows that comes to this game. This game doesn't last forever. The friendships does though. So I'm just taking that. I'm older now. I'm not taking that for granted, and I'm happy where I'm at.
Absolutely, one day at a time is the only way you can live your life. You talked about after this, you're going to jump on it and look at that Pittsburgh defense a little bit more. What have you seen so far from them? What kind of challenges does that front seven present?
I haven't watched them yet. I just know one of my former teammates I played with, Miles Jack, plays there,
Yep.
and I know what type of athlete, what type of guy he is. A great guy, even better athlete. So it's gonna be a challenge this week. Just knowing that he's there and And I played against what's number 97 name?
Cam Hayward.
I played against Hayward. He's definitely a challenge. So we're up for the task.
And what does this offense need to do to get that running game going this week? What's a Goody and what's Gilbert telling you guys that hey we need to get and coach telling you that we need to get going?
Well, today was an off week, so I mean, an off day today, so we didn't go over our running things. But tomorrow, we're definitely going to go in there, trying to polish up the run game, get better because we're trying to stay a stable team, running and passing. So, like I said, eventually it's going to happen, and when it does, we're going to be on a roll.
Well, let's get into some fun topics here. I know you're running back.
Yeah.
So obviously, scoring touchdowns as a running back is obviously something that you're thrilled to do. But what do you enjoy more ultimately? Do you enjoy lowering that shoulder for the score, maybe on like a 1 yard, 2 yard run, breaking it for like a 40, 50 yard scamper, or beating a man in coverage and just taking that receiving touchdown? Which one's your favorite to do?
Well, I say breaking a long touchdown, 40, 50 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were mic'd up this week. So when a player's mic'd up, are you just kind of assigned like, hey, Lenny, you're mic'd up this week? Is that how it goes? And
yeah, but it's always crazy because every time I get mic'd up, I always forget. So I'm quite sure there's a lot of things I have to edit out there.
Well, yeah, I had Mike Edwards on
make it approved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of hits. There are a lot of hits this week. I'm sure that's probably part of the reason I asked Mike Edwards. He's like, feds, telling all the guys just to remind them. Do you like being mic'd up? Is that something you enjoy doing?
It shows the crap talk that a lot of guys and players do throughout the huddles, the breaks, and things like that. So it's cool for the fans to see.
Right, absolutely. And you're all about the fans. I got one more question, and then I'll get into something that you're doing to the fans, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I look forward to telling that story here soon. But the shoulder pads, the LSU shoulder pads, I know you've said in the past that you don't like the ones in the NFL. They're bigger, wider, heavier. But man, those are seeing some wear and tear on them. How do you keep them fresh for game days? Is there anything that you're doing like replacement parts? Do they get serviced? Like how are you?
So I mean, I have a couple of pairs that my guys at LSU who always send me. So when it's time for me to get a new pair, that's what I do. I have a couple of the thing they're in my attic. I just keep them, for memories and things like that.
Absolutely. So I said we mentioned something that we were doing for the fans, and guys, if you haven't checked it out, it's all over social media. This is something that I think is game changing. And no other athletes are really doing, but the LF7 club you've got going on. Just talk about that, what you're doing, and how you're really bringing fans closer to athletes like they've never been before.
Yeah, so the LF7 club, is probably one of the best things that's going to happen. And to be honest, it's kind of engaging the fans with the athlete side of us, and not just the athlete side, but us as human beings, for what my club do. You get jerseys, you get free travels to games such as Germany, wherever you want to go. Passes to a lot of things. Sign helmets, footballs, jerseys, and right now we're working on a deal. We're giving away a 2019 Honda.
Oh,
So that's what we're doing. So right now, it's gonna get bigger and bigger, better and better. But just hope everyone who's in the LF7 club to enjoy everything that comes with it because it comes from our heart. It's what the people mean to me, and the thing I want to do in life.
Yeah, and I can't wait to tell this story, guys. I'll have an article out coming up here soon about everything that's going on, how you guys can join, how it started, where the idea came from. But if you haven't checked it out, go follow it on Twitter, LF7. Lenny's always tweeting it, so you're already following him. So just find the retweet and follow them there and see how you can get involved because I think this is going to be a revolutionary idea to get fans to see athletes as more than just athletes, as human beings, and bring them closer into where they've never been before. And I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited to tell that story as well. But we know you're a huge gamer, obviously 007 on Twitch.
Yes, sir.
So, but what else is there? What is there anything else that the people might not know about you that?
I mean, not really, man. I play cards. I love playing spades, tonk. Dudes is pity pat, but majority I'm on the game. I love gaming. That's what I do. It takes my mind away from football sometimes. It's kind of like my therapeutic time. So, that's about it, man. I spend time with my kids and my family.
Right. And I said, I told you at the top of the show, I wanted to do something fun to close the show out. So the first time on here, we're going to do a draft. Me and Lenny are going to go back and forth. The topic, as you know, he's a gamer. We're going to do Nintendo games. So any games that are made by Nintendo from any era, genre, whatever, they're all on the table. We'll go 5 rounds back and forth. Lenny, you get the first pick as the guest. What Nintendo game are you drafting first?
Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
The best.
Donkey Kong, the original, Donkey Kong Country?
The original.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Mario Kart for my pick.
Mario Kart or regular Mario when he was
Mario Kart, the driving
Mario Kart. I gotta think. What about Golden what's this?
GoldenEye?
GoldenEye.
I thought I'd get that in like the 3rd round. Dang it. Oh man. I'll go with the regular Mario then at this point. I'll get Mario Kart and regular Mario. I'll stick with the Mario theme.
It's been so long since I played a Nintendo, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. What else they have? I'm trying to think of all the games I used to play. What else games they had?
I can't tell you that I'd be losing my draft picks. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, regular Nintendo. They got the.
What about Pokemon?
Pokemon! Dang it, that's like my jam. I don't know how I didn't take that 2nd round. That's a great.
Pokemon was a great game.
Pokemon, they still, man, they've come out with some on the Switch that are like interactive. It's super cool.
Yeah, I had a Switch. I gotta get a Switch again.
Yeah, Switches are great, man, especially for travel with the kids and everything. I'll go with Zelda.
Zelda's a great one.
I'll go with Zelda.
Let's see.
It's tough. Where are we on 4th round right now?
What about Donkey Kong Country?
Donkey Kong Country is definitely one there. I don't know if this is gonna get many votes, but WrestleMania 2000 for and Nintendo 64 was always my jam. I love that game, so I'm gonna go WrestleMania 2000 there. Our last pick.
I'm gonna have to go with Kirby. I love Kirby.
Oh man! Oh, that just reminded me. I completely forgot. I'll take Super Smash Brothers here to round out my draft.
Okay. Super Smash. Yeah. That's definitely a good one.
Absolutely. Well, Lenny, that was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing that. Going down memory lane there too with some of those games, man. But again, I thank you so much for coming on here. Thanks for being a part of this. Excited to talk to you. Excited to bring your story to everybody here soon. And with that being said, we're out of here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.